What is up, everybody? Gideon XL here chiming in. So a couple of days ago, the Tokyo Game Show happened, and one of the things that was shown is some information on Monster Hunter Outlander. So I thought that was very interesting, very intriguing. I've been trying to check it out. Really been trying to get more information on the topic. Monster Hunter is it's a favorite genre of mine. I like it. I like it a lot. And trying to get more information, we noticed that there was in addition to the blog. So the link is always in the description. So we're going to head over to the official blog post and see what information that they had that was there that really enhances our understanding and answers a lot of questions that people had about the Tokyo Game Show interview from the developers, right? This was the developer talk, and they have the recap, and it is posted here as of October 26th. So I hadn't seen a lot of people talk about it. It's been up and running for a couple of days. So let's just go ahead and get into the information, see what we can learn. I said it's been 10 months since Monster Hunter Outlanders was first revealed. Recently, producers Don Huang, again, culturally, I'm not sure how things are pronounced. Somebody can help me, please, to be educated. My ignorance is exposed here, but I definitely would like to learn and understand. So I'm just going to say things as I understand it, and please help me, correct me so I can do so properly. Don Huang from the Timmy Studio Group and Genki Tsunano from Capcom were present at Tokyo Game Show to share updates on the game. Thank you for your continued interest and support. Point number one, closed beta test number one registration is now open. The closed beta test for Monster Hunter Outlanders will launch in November. We're in November, right? It is November right now. So they're still taking applications. I believe up until the 7th. I believe up until the 7th of November. So the closed beta test for Monster Hunter Outlanders will launch in November, and unlike the Tokyo Game Show demo, the closed beta test will allow players to take on the role of the fated adventurer to experience the game's unique story from its start. For more information on the beta test, please refer to the registration and frequently asked question posts on our official community channels. Now, what information do we receive from that? Well, we saw that the fated adventurer was one of the characters individuals could use. So the difference, it appears, that will happen during the closed beta test is you will start from the beginning, right? They're probably testing out how people do, right? Getting out of those first few areas, those first few stages, right? The people who are familiar with the franchise will probably breeze right through that. They want to see how quick it takes people to get from the beginning into the main game. But if you're not familiar with the series, right, sometimes people can get lost in those initial cities, right, those initial towns, trying to figure out what they're supposed to do, and they probably want to guard against that. So the only way to know if you're doing it right is to test it out from the beginning. So that'll be really cool. Now, some people have asked regarding the closed beta test, will that information be preserved? And they're telling us right here, you see at the bottom, limited closed beta test, confidential, and data wipe. Okay. So what does that help us to appreciate? Well, again, if I'm hoping to get in, I'm really hoping to get in on that. Even so, and the information will be data wiped. So that will not carry over into the main game, which is fine, right? It's just good to know that that is the case. That means they're getting closer to launch. There should be more beta tests. There'll probably be some more open beta tests, and we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. New story, new monsters. This adventure centers on uncovering the mysteries of Outlander. That's how I'm saying it. Please help me understand if I'm not saying it correctly. Outlander, a primary setting of Outlanders. On Outlander, players will face new radiant monsters. In battle, they can even enter a frenzied state. Well, what does this image here help us to appreciate? So we have a Rathian here. Right? We have a Rathian. He's glowing red, so he's radiant. So it says that there's going to be monsters. We know that, right? There's going to be monsters that have this radiant trait. So the traditional monsters, but they have this radiant trait. And so they'll be a little bit stronger in some way, shape, or form. Now it says that they enter a frenzied state. Now I'm asking for a clarification. Is that different than enraged, right? So monsters hit the enraged mode. Is frenzied different than enraged? I'm not sure. I'm asking for clarification on that. Is this something that the radiants can jump into a lot quicker? Maybe this is just the same as enraged mode, but the radiant species just get involved in it a lot quicker. So it just helps us to appreciate that we were then either way, right? They're going to be harder, they're going to be more difficult. And either way, that means that we're going to simply have to be better at how we approach and attack the monster. Very intriguing. There's a lot of details that we still don't know about that. So we'll continue. Now, the adventurers. We have some interesting points here that we found. In this title, characters are known as adventurers, people from across the world, each bringing their own unique experiences and skills. To explore uncharted lands and ecosystems, every adventurer is equipped with distinctive abilities. Make use of these abilities during the hunts to enjoy a variety of buffs and effects. Okay, what are some of the main points that we got there? They have the adventurers, and they each have their own, what did it say? Distinctive abilities. So we were wondering, well, why would I choose one of the other adventurers, right? Why would I choose somebody different? It helps us, right? That's what I'm getting is it has something to do with these distinctive abilities. You play as the Fated Adventurer, whose appearance can be customized. As an adventurer, you are proficient in multiple weapon types. So let's go ahead and just look at this picture a little bit closer and understand what we're talking about here. So the Fated Adventurer, right? So we recognize there is a male and a female version. This is the main character that you will be using if you wish. That is the most adjustable, customizable character in the game. Okay. So this character, in my opinion, obviously is going to act like previous Monster Hunter heroes. This is your main character. You get different armor, you get different weapons, and you put them on this person. That doesn't seem to be something that's going to change. But the article, again, did highlight there be something about their special. What did it say? Let me go back, see if I can just find. Every adventurer is equipped with distinctive abilities. Make use of these abilities during hunts to enjoy a variety of buffs and effects. So those distinctive, abilities. That's something they're not giving us a whole lot, but I think that's important. That's probably what's going to make the difference between you as a Fated Adventurer and these other special adventurers that we saw. So Pepe, Raya, and Madeline, right? They're locked to a certain weapon type, and they obviously have a certain armor set. They're locked to that. So why would you choose to pick somebody who is locked to a certain set? Their special abilities, these distinctive abilities, must be potent enough to want you to do that. Does that make sense? They would have to be potent enough to want you to do that. There would need to be a reason why, especially if you're not a good player. So you're playing, well, wait a minute now. Never mind. So let's say you're playing whatever, you got the great sword, and you're not really a good heavy bowgun player. Why would you pick Pepe, who's a heavy bowgun? She has to use that weapon. She must have some type of special ability that in certain situations makes it important for you to either have that weapon or to have that ability. And she's going to be much better than I would be if I was playing that character. That's the only reason I can think. We'll have to see, right? This is just speculation on my part. As it's telling us right now, the Fated Adventurer is proficient with various types of weapons, adapts their combat style based on their weapon choice. Certain skills retain familiar traits, making them highly versatile. So again, that's how most of us normally play the game. You pick different weapons. The way the weapon works is how you, right? That adjusts how you play. They have some that are available here, right? The sword, long sword, bow, great sword, dual blades, heavy bowgun. A lot of us are familiar with those things, but it must be something about these special characters. I can only imagine they must be so good in some way or have some special abilities that you can't easily get that would make you need to use those characters. Also note too, there's an important point here. We see assault under the Fated Adventurer, and it looks like the palico symbol. We got his palico sitting here. it appears that that is going to be more important than we thought previously. It appears that the choice of the buddy is going to be more important than we thought previously. Let's see how. Other adventurers each have their own weapons of expertise. For example, Midori specializes in the long sword. By executing precise evasions and counterattacks, she turns movement of danger into opportunities for offense. Her movements carry the long sword's trademark fluidly and gracefully, while also invoking the elegance of a musical performance. So that's kind of the question that we were asking. Why would I use Midori here, who specializes in the long sword? Why would I use Midori, who specializes in longsword, if all she can use is longsword, and I'm not good at longsword, or mine's right? I guess, well, maybe mine's not that strong. Even so, if I'm maining a different weapon, if I'm a hammer bro, or I've gotten great sword, I'm insect glaive, I'm doing something like that. If that's my weapon of choice, why would I switch and use Midori here? It must that she has with her sword art with the long sword that I can't do as the main player, the Fated Adventurer. There must be something unique that she can do that I can't. That's the only reason, right? That's the only reason why I would pick a character such as that, right? There must be something special about it. We're going to have to see. Back to the blog. Adventure and buddy roles. Adventurers are divided into 3 classes, each with particular strengths. So assault, support, disruptor. Each adventurer class corresponds to a different type of buddy. First is the familiar Palico, well known. The familiar Palico, well known to fans of the series, accompanying adventures on their journey to Ace Outlander. Palico fights alongside assault type adventurers, unleashing explosive bursts of damage. So, right here, we're starting to really get some information. Palico is assault type. Rutako is disruptor type. Trillian is support type. So, depending on what you're trying to do, right? Depending on what you need, how you're trying to enhance your combat experience, the buddy that you pick falls into that trinity as it is when it comes to games. You have, again, damage dealer, right? It's just basically the 3 things: DPS, control, or healing. The buddy types fall into those 3 categories: DPS, control, and healing. And maybe that's also, let's see if we still have that picture available. That's also probably has something to do with the adventurers, right? The type of buddy that they come with in their play style determines that as well. So again, we had the Fated Adventurer with that Palico. He's an assault type. Well, Pepe, Raya, Madeline, who are they bringing with them? What type of buddy are they bringing with them? Is that going to define then again what kind of companion they are? So if I need assistance, maybe I'm kind of new to the game. I don't know. Let's. I'm just making this up. And we'll pretend that Madeline, she brings a healer type, right? She brings a healer type. Let's just pretend that's the case. Then, right, I might need that to keep my player alive. And I think what we saw with Midori is I think she did have the trillion, right? She had the bird. I can't remember now. So maybe that's why I would need her. Maybe she has some type of special sword art ability. Maybe I'm kind of new to the game, or it's just that I'm starting to get into content that, right? I'm a skilled player. But I'm starting to get into content that's stronger than me. As a skilled player, I can keep going, right? I can keep playing if I had some heals. And so maybe that's what it is, or part of what it is. Maybe that's part of again, the combat style and what's going on. So a lot of that, again, is still slightly speculation, but this is more information than we had before. Why would we again want to do some of these things? New mechanic, co-op skill. Outlanders introduces a brand new hunting mechanic called the co-op skill. It encourages teamwork during hunts, creating more opportunities for coordinated play. When all squad members, now that all is highlighted, when all squad members strike the same monster part within a short window of time, it can trigger powerful effects such as dealing massive damage. We look forward to seeing you communicate and coordinate with friends to deliver that perfectly timed strike. So, what does this confirm? Obviously, co op. We saw it looked like multiplayer during the Tokyo Game Show, but there was only one individual controlling things. So we thought, well, maybe he has these buddies, right? These adventurers that we saw with them, like Midori and Pepe. Maybe they just come out and hang out with you while you're playing the game. Maybe it's always a 4-person thing, but you're only controlling one character. But this confirms, again, we're going to have co-op with our friends. So other players, right? They won't be bots. This is other players. And one of the strategies is to need to coordinate attacks on the same monster part. Okay. How are they going to assist us to do that? Well, this is a mobile game, mobile optimizations. To deliver the best possible hunting experience on mobile devices, we've developed a control system specifically designed for smartphones. Classic weapon moves have been assigned to fixed skill buttons, allowing follow-up attacks to be triggered with a single tap. This preserves the authentic feel of Monster Hunter series while providing controls suited to mobile devices. We'll just break that down very quickly. So Monster Hunter is typically something that's on console, typically something perhaps that's on PC, and you need a multitude of buttons, right? So you have different types of attacks. You're trying to dodge and move at the same time, jump in and attack, combos, jump out, dodge, right? You got to heal. There's all kind of things that are happening. So how are they going to put all that on a smartphone? They're saying, well, we made a new interface specifically designed for that. So the true Monster Hunter feel will be present in this mobile application. That's what the goal is. That's what we're hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for as a fan of the Monster Hunter series. So it says on top of that, we've introduced clearer battle prompts to help players better understand the flow of combat. Monster attacks, special mechanics, and precision moves are now accompanied by more distinct visual cues and feedback. So once again, breaking this down, the monsters have patterns, right? They have stuff they do. They have special moves. They're all like mini bosses. If you never played a Monster Hunter game, each of these monsters is kind of just like a mini boss. And as you go through, they get more and more difficult. So they have little tells at first about what moves they're going to do. I mean, I guess they always have tells about what moves they're going to do. You have to learn how to retreat, how to dodge, and they're going to try to telegraph that stuff probably early, very blatantly, so that people can get a feel for how the controls work. So you're able to dodge, you're able to jump in, get stuns, you're able to jump. Maybe I wonder if there's mounting monsters. Is there mounting monsters? There's got to be, right? There's got to be mounting monsters. All that stuff. There needs to be an ebb and a flow so you know when your windows of opportunity for that stuff is. So they're going to build it differently. They're going to have to. So it's something available to be done on a mobile platform. We've also enhanced the monster part lock-on system, making it more accurate and easier to control. Simply swipe on the radio menu to focus attacks on the monster's weak points. Very interesting right here, okay? Very interesting right here. Let's go ahead and open this one up. This gives us, again, some clarification. We didn't see a lot. I saw some, but I didn't see a lot of information on this. But now we got a nice, clear picture of the UI. So we got Puke here in the background. That's the monster that we're going up against. And we have this nice radial wheel for telegraphing to the rest of the team what part of the monster to attack, right? We have a head, we have a wing on either side, right? There's a right and a left, and they're different. There's a right and a left leg, and they're different. There's a tail. And this is going to be interesting because all monsters, right? All monsters in this game don't have wings. They don't all have 2 legs, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this changes. And what is also interesting is right up here, this looks like this is a lock on button. So you lock onto the monster so that now the monster always stays in focus, right? And you rotate around the monster. Otherwise, if you're not on, then you rotate on the screen just like a normal first person type or third person game. So whatever's going to work out good at that time. To be mindful of, something I was thinking about is, okay, so you have an individual who is tanking the monster in the front, trying to bait the monster to attack the aggro on the monster. There's certain weapons that allow you to do that. So if that individual is taking the monster's going to chase him around. So if you need a particular time to attack the tail, you can't do it. Not a team. Everybody won't be able to. That particular character won't be able to because the monster's going to be facing him or whichever direction he goes. So it's just something to think about as teams coordinate. If you have to do it at a certain time, maybe you do pick the head. Or maybe you pick one of these front limbs that he could still rotate and pivot, still be within range of the head and still attack that limb. If he has to be the head and the other characters are trying to steer clear of that, can they attack from the? We're going to have to talk about it. And if you're playing with people you know, right? That's the advantage. If you're playing with people you know, if you're playing with people that have played the game before, if you're playing right in a group with people that you know, then it's easier to coordinate that stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see what people come up with. Now, another portion here that we're looking at the interface is the attacking buttons. So it looks like we got dual blades going here. We got dual blades. So the main button here just must be the main attack. The little sword, I'm assuming, is to sheath or to put your weapons away. You move faster when your weapons are put away, but obviously you can't attack. This button here looks like it's dodge. So all these other buttons are attack buttons. So we have dodge down here. So at least that you're moving your hands, you're moving your thumb at least opposite the way everything else is attacking. And there's no way to really get that mixed up. That's a good position, right? That's a good spot for those two buttons. That if you're going to sheath your weapon, if you're going to try to dodge an attack, you're not accidentally going to sustain the attack. You're not accidentally going to do one of those things while you're trying to sustain the attack, right? Whatever you're trying to do, it looks like most of those buttons are clustered together. And so, I don't know what all these symbols mean. We got dual blades. We have one with the buddy here. So perhaps this is a joint attack somehow with the buddy. And then these other ones, we're going to have to see. Right? I'm assuming you put them in sequence in some way, shape, or form, right? That's because you usually build combos in Monster Hunter, or these are just all out moves. We're going to have to find out. The dual blades, like this seems to me like that could be like the demon mode, where he's just spinning the blades, like a human saw. Maybe, right? Maybe that's what that button is, or maybe down here is how you activate that mode. Not sure, but we have a multitude of buttons, so somehow stringing different types of attacks together, stringing different combos together, which is the core of the Monster Hunter game. So I'm curious to see how that's going to shake out. Really curious, actually. All right. Venturing outside of hunts. Beyond hunts, Monster Hunter Outlanders aims to serve as a bridge for players to connect and build lasting bonds. In addition to the series' classic 4-player hunts, so that's confirmed, we got 4-player hunts. In addition to that, and the Gathering Hub, take variety of activities together. Player hunt still a thing. There's going to be the Gathering Hub, still a thing, right? So that's just the main area where you would go to get your missions. This is just a place where you go to get your missions, get supplies, things of that nature, and that's where you can kind of meet other characters, other people, team up, right? Get some team ups in advance and head out into the world. Then you don't have to come back, as I understand it, right? In games of the past, I mean, that's how it was in games of the past. As you Instead of, right, you might as well, if you get a couple of missions, if I get 3 or 4 missions, you got 3 or 4 missions, some of them are the same, some of them are different, then we can just go out, we can do them all, come back and turn them in and don't have to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Get it all done, then come back and restock up on missions. So that's one of the reasons things like that are here. And then in addition, it said that there would be these other game modes. Now I gotta find my main screen. I got so many Monster Hunter tabs open. I gotta find the main screen again. Where was it? We were in the news talking about the Tokyo Game Show recap. All right. So it said also that there were these adventurers guilds, which you have a variety of activities. So this is something other than the standard hunting. So curious to see what that's going to be. Curious to see what that's going to be. Maybe some type of gathering things, races. I don't know. Could there be group, right? If you have a 4-player group, this is something that, you know, with a mobile game, you could get bigger bosses, bigger world bosses, right? Could 3 or 4 groups of 4 players, am I making sense? All go out on some big hunt to take down some giant monster, one of the big elder dragons or some of the more colossal monsters that they've had in the game. That would be interesting. I'm curious to see. Our entire team is looking forward to receiving many opinions and impressions from everyone during the upcoming closed beta test. So again, if you want to get in, the link to the game is in the description. They're still taking applications up to the 7th of November and through SNS and other channels. I don't know what SNS is. Somebody could break that down for me. I would be much appreciated. Such opinions and impressions from you will serve as a driving force for continuous improvement of us. Please look forward to the Monster Hunter Outlanders ahead. Thank you very much for your support. So that concludes the blog. What do you think of this information? I'm really excited about the game. There's a lot of cool stuff I think that is coming. A lot of things we can look forward to. They're still taking information. They're still taking applications for the closed beta test. There's years, right? The Monster Hunter franchise has been around for years. There's so many cool characters and weapon types, monsters, I should say, they could bring to this game. So what are you looking forward to? Is there a monster from the past that you like to see again that you haven't seen in a while? Is there a weapon you're looking to dust off? What is your main weapon style? I'm probably starting with Great Sword myself, and I'm also interested again in Insect Glaive. Those are 2 that I really like. But hey, I want to hear from you. Put your stuff down in the comments. We will try to answer questions as they become available, and maybe we can incorporate those into the next video.